Hello beautiful people. So today I'm going to be doing a personal Q&A to give a quick introduction before I get into it. If you are new to this channel, maybe you're not subscribed yet, my name is Natasha Vilaseca and I am a LinkedIn consultant. I try to make it as fun as possible. However, I also really enjoy talking about entrepreneurship, mindset, all the other good stuff, which is why from this week forth, I have an announcement to make. I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week. So the first video is going to be LinkedIn related, and then the second one is kind of like a wild card. I don't really mind what I talk about on it. Like, I'm super open, I'm comfortable speaking about pretty much everything surrounding like mental health, entrepreneurship, mindset, day in the life. A couple of people asking for like vlogs and stuff. I don't really do much. I think you probably think I have more for just like, yeah, I don't really do that much. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week from now on. So if you've not subscribed yet or turned on post notifications, then it would mean the world to me if you would do that. And then you'll also receive alerts when I upload a new video. Now, without further ado, this video is going to be a personal Q&A. We've got topics to cover from 2021 goals to time travel to body confidence. Like, we've literally got a complete array of questions here. If you see me glancing down, it's just because I'm looking at my phone, because I literally put this on my story about 20 minutes ago. So there's like new ones coming in. Ooh, that's a good one as well. I'm going to add that one in. And then I've also written down my favourites on a piece of paper. So we're very organised. Now let's jump straight into it. Question numero uno is, what are your goals for 2021? Now, up until this year, I've set out clear-cut goals with a KPI where I'm like, I want to hit this number by like Q2, XYZ. And what I found is that that doesn't work very well for me. As soon as I miss like one little goal, like if I have a benchmark that I want to hit before Q2, for example, and I don't hit it, I end up just writing off the entire goal because I'm like, oh, well, I failed, I might as well give up now. I'm just dramatic about it. So I decided to give myself kind of general goals. I've got a lot of mini goals this year. A couple of them are be authentic. So I know that sounds like a weird one, but it's staying true to myself. It ties in really heavily with the work that I do on LinkedIn when it comes to social selling. Human to human interaction is the new B2B for me. I'm going to coin that phrase. H to H selling. So being authentic, staying true to myself. I've spoken about this in, I think, one video, which was a personal Q&A as well. No, there's a video which is I've Been Lying to You as the title. Mild clickbait. Mild clickbait. No, you know what? It wasn't. It was basically a video about me saying that I hadn't felt I had been fully myself and kind of shown my character in my videos, because LinkedIn is a very professional topic and I'm a very like weird, in a good way hopefully, bubbly person, and sometimes I don't show that in the video, but that's completely going off topic from your question. Be authentic. Next one is to grow my YouTube channel, which is why I'm putting such a heavy focus on filming content, doing 2 videos per week, which is really good. And I also want you guys to get to know me more, not just surface level, but also like, what do I do on a day-to-day basis? This is the closest thing I have to like my friends. Aside from my real friends, you guys are like the next tier. And I feel like I talk a lot about professional stuff, so it'd be nice to kind of open up more about personal stuff and hopefully my experiences as an entrepreneur, or like maybe I've gone through things that you're currently going through or that you're worried about, you have limiting beliefs around. So I'd like to be able to help out from a perspective other than Sales Navigator and LinkedIn like functionalities. So that, and then I've got a couple other ones. So I've actually got 3. So one of them is learning how to box. I had my first lesson this morning, which was actually super fun. I can see why people find it addictive. So that's something that I've started a little bit late, but at least I've started it this year. The second one is meditation. I used to meditate quite frequently, and then I had a drop off in it. And it's one of those things that you don't realize how much it helps you until you stop doing it. And something changes, like your anxiety levels get higher, or you just struggle a little bit more mentally, and you're like, what's changed in my life? And it was just like meditation. So I've really gone back into meditating for between 30 to 45 minutes every single night before I go to bed. It's like a guided series that I'm going through at the moment. Meditation, and then the final one I can't disclose too much information on, but it's to launch a startup. I've been working really hard behind the scenes with my business partner to bring something really cool to you guys, which has nothing to do with LinkedIn, but it's exciting. Like, I can't wait for you all to see it. I will obviously tell you more about it once we've launched publicly. So that's the final thing. Question número dos is, if you could time travel, would you go back and change your past, or would you go and see your future? Excellent question, because naturally, like, my first reaction is I don't want to do either. I wouldn't change anything that's happened in my past. Even the bad stuff, like, I think they've all been very valuable lessons. Some have kind of impacted or affected me more than others without going into specifics. But I wouldn't go back and change my past, because I think I'm proud of who I am right now. I've still got a lot of growth and like things I want to achieve, but who I am right now, where I'm at in life, I'm happy for. And without my previous experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I don't think I'd go back to my past. I think I would go to my future. I don't want to know. But if I could see what my future looks like, then I can change my current action if I don't like the direction that I go in. So if I go to my future and I'm like not in a good place, or like things haven't gone well for me, then at least I know that my current actions are putting me on that trajectory and something needs to change. So I've got to breathe. Circling back to your question, I would choose going to the future. Next question. Let's have a look. There's still more coming in. Okay, next one is, what's on the back of this? Okay, it's fine. Do you feel like entrepreneurship is for everyone, or do you have a bias towards certain traits? Good question. This is a really good question. I've been asked this a couple times, and I've had this conversation with other people that are maybe currently at a crossroads in their educational timeline. I don't know if that's a word, but they're kind of graduating from high school. They're thinking about what they want to do next in terms of next steps. Do they go to university? Do they have a gap year? Not that you can really do much on a gap year at the moment, but do they take some time out? Do they start a business, like X, Y, Z? And I definitely think that entrepreneurship isn't suited for everyone. It's glamorized. It's glamorized from the perspective of a lot of people online. They kind of show off the wealth and like all the good stuff that comes with it. But in reality, it's tough. Like, it is difficult. It's probably the most challenging kind of journey that I set out on myself, the most rewarding. I wouldn't be able to do anything else. In terms of what qualities you need, and obviously I'll give you the ones that I think I am developing or have needed to develop in order to be, I don't want to say successful, but like to be able to be on a good path when it comes to entrepreneurship and be able to like make a living for myself working for me. Grit. Like, if you don't know what grit is, it's basically having thick skin. Like, as a person, can you withstand kind of situations that are maybe tough or challenging? That could apply to like, obviously, like physically, like, do you have like mental strength and are you tough mentally? Same thing with entrepreneurship. I think if you don't have grit in your personality, you're going to give up easily. And failure is a part of entrepreneurship. It's a part of being an entrepreneur. So if you do not have grit in your personality, you're going to give up very quickly, and you're not going to kind of stay on that path and keep chipping away at your goals to get towards the end result that you want to achieve. So I would say grit is a really big one. That would be the main one. Anything else? I would say staying curious and humbled. Entrepreneurship definitely humbles you, and if you have a huge ego and you think you're the best, you might be really good at what you do, but you're quickly going to get knocked down, and there's always going to be somebody else out there who is bigger and better, making more money, more successful than you. So I would say you have to be very open to learning and curiosity and kind of looking up to those people that have achieved something more than you have, or maybe they're a couple steps ahead, and that's basically having a role model. But in terms of traits, I would say grit. Grit is the main one, and that kind of encompasses everything that I would say you need to be an entrepreneur. Let's have a look at the next one. How to get over the fear of failure. This is something that I struggled with a lot, and I'm gonna say something that might sound a little bit weird. It's gonna seem like it doesn't make sense at first, but just bear with me on this one. Ask yourself this question right now. Are you afraid of success? Let me explain. So I know I've completely taken the opposite of failure. A lot of the time, we have limiting beliefs that we have constructed around what our worldview is, who we believe ourselves to be in terms of our identity. So if, for example, you grew up in a low-income household and your parents always worked super hard for money, money was always really difficult for you to have, and you are used to living at a level where money is a luxury, it's not abundantly available, and you're in that scarcity mindset where you need it to survive. So you've pinned money on survival, not on luxury and freedom and all these other things. If you take that scenario and that kind of worldview that you had when you were younger, and it could still be now, like it doesn't matter, I'm just using this as an example. When you apply that down the line, so me, for example, I'm from like a working class background. When I first started trying to build my company, I kept on self-sabotaging, and I did not know why. I was like, whenever something went really well, or I got close to signing a client, or I had my best month, whatever it may be, and this has happened up until recently as well, like I still do this now and again, I have to check myself on it, you'll end up self-destructing back down to a level where you feel safe, because that's the comfort zone that you've created for yourself, and that's who you identify with. The version of yourself that you identify with is somebody that is always worried about money and that it's scarce and it's not abundantly available. So when you make more money and you're like, okay, I've got 20k coming into the bank, you don't associate yourself with £20,000. Like, that isn't me. I've never had that. I can't associate with how that is normal. It scares me. And you run back to that place where you were when you had that worldview as a kid, and you're like, okay, I need to go back to having £1,000 a month and struggling and worrying, because even though it sounds very backwards, that's where you feel safe, and that's the version of yourself that you identify with emotionally and mentally. So you go back to it. I know this is quite deep, but just bear with me. The fear of failure, are you scared of success? It's basically the same question. You need to do some work on yourself. I have had to do a lot of work on myself to break past those limiting beliefs and understand that money is easy to make, and you can make it, and you deserve it, and you are able to make lots of money every single month, and that is who you are. Like, money isn't attached to you, it shouldn't define who you are. And when you get to a certain point, when money covers your basic needs in terms of survival, like if you have a look at like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll have like the different kind of needs, and at the bottom you've got the most basic things that you need to survive, like food, water, shelter, stuff like that. When you live in like a scarcity money mindset, it tends to be that you've associated money onto those basic like basal needs that you have as a human being to survive, and anything past that is like it's weird, like it's uncharted territory and it's outside of comfort zone. So yeah, my biggest recommendation is to do some work on yourself, and you need to kind of shift your identity and redo who you are in a way, and that's like deep work. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of reading. I've read so many books on this stuff. It's consistently rewiring your negative thought patterns and replacing them with the worldview or with the rules that you want your new identity to fall in line with. I hope that helps. Books, and if you can afford it, if you have the means to, therapy. Therapy's incredible. I recommend therapy to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're going through something rough, like a rough time, or if you think you've got no problems in the world. I think it's one of the most beneficial things that somebody could do. So yeah, that's how to get over the fear of failure. That would be my advice for that. The next one, do you have issues with body confidence? I think everyone does. I think I definitely have had periods where it's been worse than others. Going into lockdown, I literally had a breakup as lockdown was happening. I was out in Cape Town, so it was March. I was working out every single day, but I was inside all the time and I was working so much and I was eating constantly, and I had a couple other things happen, like family related stuff that happened over that time period while I was away, which wasn't good. So I felt like all these like compounding bad events were happening at the same time, and I think I was coping by eating loads of food. And you probably wouldn't have been able to like see it, because like I should have put on a bit more weight before I went into lockdown. Like I was a little bit underweight, so it wasn't like I became fat or obese, and like you shouldn't compare yourself in any way to this. But also, side note, comparison is a killer. Don't compare yourself to other people, because a lot of things are genetic body types. Like you can't compare your body to anybody else's because you all function completely different ways. So that's a side note. If you are somebody that is insecure or you find yourself comparing yourself to a lot of people, unfollow all those people online, because I guarantee social media is a big cause of it. Anyway, don't want to go off track too much. It's like I'm distracting from telling this story because I've not really spoken about it. So going into lockdown, I started eating loads. It wasn't unhealthy foods, it was just a lot of calories. Like I was eating so much. If you speak to my flatmate in Cape Town, I would out-eat him at dinner. Like I was an animal. I was eating so much food. And I put on quite a bit of weight for me. And I remember there was a comment on one of my Instagram stories, and someone responded to a story of me and they said, wow, you've put on so much weight. And that like hurt. And like I always try, like I don't get like a lot of nasty comments or hate and stuff because I don't have like a huge following. But that one comment, because it was something that I was so like, I was already in kind of like a low place with a lot of stuff that was going on, I was trying my hardest to keep everything together. Like I was focusing a lot on work, and I just felt quite sensitive to little things. So that comment, even though it was a complete stranger, their profile literally didn't have a profile photo, they had like no followers, like a random account. But because it was like, I felt that about myself, them saying it made it true, and that kind of hurt. And basically from that point moving forwards, I came back to London, and then I went traveling for I went traveling a little bit, and I kind of like, I started to get a bit healthier when I came back here. And honestly, like I've only really like fully got on top of my health and my fitness and my diet in the past month or so. And I work in like waves, so sometimes I'll kind of like lose a little bit of a grip on my routine or my diet, and I'll eat like not great foods, and it'll be like a month or two, but I'll always like be able to control it. It won't be like crazy because I'll still work out, so I won't notice a huge difference in like body weight and appearance, but it'll be like in here, it's a huge difference to me, and like I'll feel happier when I'm working out, and this is what I'm going to lead on to. So in terms of issues with body confidence, I think everyone does to some degree. It's okay to talk about it, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but it is something that should be addressed in terms of why do people feel this way? What are we consuming in terms of media and what's online, or what we're hearing, listening to, seeing, like feeling, like all these things? What makes so many people have issues with body confidence? Because I think this era and like these generations that we're in right now, there's never been more issues with it, and anxiety levels, depression levels, suicide rates have never been higher. And obviously that's a completely different topic, and there's loads of different variables as to why those things have increased. But media consumption and like bad content or like damaging content and comparing ourselves to like unrealistic beauty standards and expectations is a huge thing. yeah, it's huge. Like I think it happens with a lot of people, men and women. Like it doesn't discriminate when it comes to gender. One thing that I would say is, obviously, if you're asking that question, like that's my personal story. And like it probably doesn't even sound dramatic to you guys at all. It was just like, that was just like the closest thing I can think in terms of like body confidence and like what I've been through myself recently. But aside from that, obviously I've mentioned comparison. Comparison is a killer. Remove as much comparison as you can from your life and start with the things that you can control. So social media, what accounts do you follow? Who do you look to? What photos are you seeing and saying, I wish I looked like that? Why don't I have her body? Why don't I have his body? Why is his hair better than mine? All these things, it doesn't matter. Like as long as you are happy within yourself and you're doing your best to keep your mind, body, soul happy and healthy, that's all that should matter. The rest of it is just noise. And it's easy to say and it's harder to do and feel, but trust me, it's a process and it's something that you need to chip away at every single day. Meditation really helps with this. Having a routine, getting good sleep, eating good food, like everything that you put into your body, whether it's nutritional, whether it's information, that's like control, everything that you can control, do it with good things and positive things, and that's gonna help you when it comes to body confidence. So that's the 4 questions, and then I think I've had a couple more come through. Okay, I'm going to try and answer these quite quickly because I know I've gone into a lot of detail with the other ones. So, do you think having a relationship slows you down in achieving success? I think the wrong relationships do. I think the right relationships should help propel you closer towards your goal if you've got somebody that lifts you up, and obviously vice versa. I think it's about choosing the right partner and you guys being compatible on both a personal and like a work level, I guess. Next question, how to reach 1,000 followers on Instagram? Is it about consistent content? Yes. Be clear on who your audience is and what your value is to that group of people, and then consistently deliver value and content around your core values. And that's what I can say, to be honest. Like consistency, engage with your audience, and remember to ask yourself the question, what's in it for them? So what value do they receive from me posting this or from me talking about this topic? Ask them polls, questions, what do you guys want to know about? And that's what I try and do with my followers, which is helping me grow slowly but surely. So yeah, they are all of the questions. I hope you guys found this insightful. I actually really like doing these Q&As. It kind of feels like a therapy session for me. Let me know if you do enjoy them down below, because I know this is very different to the work content, and if you're here for LinkedIn stuff, hopefully you weren't too bored watching me talk about my personal life. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you so much if you stuck around until the end. Please give it a like if you did enjoy it, if it helped you in some way. And obviously I love reading your comments, so please leave, even if it's like feedback, if it's something that you can contribute or something that you've been through personally that you'd like to just share and put out there. Maybe it's something that could help somebody else who's going through a similar situation to you. Leave it in the comments. Like, we're a family, just leave it down below. And as always, if you have any requests for future videos, I'm going to be doing a video that's non-LinkedIn related every single week, so leave your suggestions in the comments. But until next week, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you, and I will, did you just see my slipper? It's literally, I'm wearing slippers while I do this. And I'll see you guys next week.